Kent Hughes and the Montreal Canadiens just had a generational offseason, and in this video, I'm going to make the case for this being the best offseason in Montreal Canadiens history. Plus, since Laine was traded yesterday, he spoke out about being traded to the Montreal Canadiens. I'm going to break it all down for you guys coming up on this episode of Hat Trick HQ. But before we get into it, we got a word from our sponsor of this video, Fume. Are you trying to kick a bad habit to the curb? You need to check out Fume. Fume is an award-winning flavored air device, and the flavored air category is quickly becoming the alternative to vaping and smoking. If vapor was compared to sticky soda, Fume cores are closer to herbal teas. Fume has lots of delicious flavors to choose from crisp mint to cinnamon hearts. They have a flavor for you. With flavored air, you can satisfy your oral fixation through a passive diffusion system that utilizes no electronics, no vapor, and no combustion. Fume has been backed by many doctors within the United States, and they continue to invest into third-party studies to ensure the safety of their products. My favorite thing about Fume is their delicious flavor cores. You can use them anywhere, at work, at home, or just on the go. Fume also is made to fidget with through its magnets, snaps, and clicks to just calm your anxiety. Fume has served over 300,000 customers, and you can be their next success story. For a limited time, you can use my code DIGEST to get your free topper accessory. It's the perfect accessory to your Fume device. Slip it onto the mouthpiece for a softer, warmer feel. It's chewable for those who love to fidget, and it's reusable. Head to tryfume.com. That's tryfum.com to get this exclusive offer by using my code DIGEST to get your free topper accessory with the purchase of a journey pack. And once again, a huge thank you to Fume for sponsoring this video. And once again, a huge thank you to Fume for sponsoring this video. If you want to check out that exclusive offer, make sure down below in the description and in the pinned comment. But with that said, let's jump right into the first topic of the video today, which is Laine speaks out on being traded to the Habs. And yes, in case you were sleeping under a rock yesterday or you never checked your phone at all, we had a big deal go on. We had Patrik Laine be traded to the Montreal Canadiens in an absolute steal, with Montreal getting Patrik Laine and a second for Jordan Harris. This is the heist of the century by Kent Hughes, 100%. Was so excited when I heard this news yesterday that Patrik Laine was coming to Montreal. I think this guy's going to have such a huge impact on this Montreal Canadiens team this year, and I'm very excited to see him in a Habs jersey come the start of the season. But since being traded, Patrik Laine did an interview where he had a couple of quotes talking about being traded to Montreal, and this is what he had to say here. He said, "I didn't need too much convincing. I really wanted to go to Montreal. I know the city and how much they care and how passionate the fans are. For some people, it might not be the easiest place to go, but I always liked being in the spotlight on the ice." And of course, Patrik Laine coming to Montreal, of course he's going to be in the spotlight, so hear him that he's not afraid of it. He loves being in the spotlight. He loves being, the center of attention for the media, because, of course, Patrik Laine is going to be that for the first little bit while he's in Montreal. Obviously, a big name coming to the city, a big hockey town. He's going to be the spotlight. The spotlight's just going to be shining on him, and it's great to hear that he didn't need much convincing to come here. He loves the city. He loves the fans, and he's just very passionate about hockey, and he wants to get back to top form, and I think Montreal is the right place to do it for Patrik Laine. And we also got one more from him here saying, bring the cup to Montreal, that's my goal right now, and all Habs fans want to hear that, because, I mean, the Montreal Canadiens, they got an amazing young team right now, and going forward, this team is going to be amazing, and, playoff and cup aspirations are definitely in the very near future for the Montreal Canadiens. So hearing that Patrik Laine wants to bring a cup to Montreal is huge. Obviously, every player is going to say this, but it is great to hear that his goal right now is not just, getting back to the player he was, but also he's more team-oriented in bringing the cup to Montreal, and I'm really excited about this trade. I think Patrik Laine is one of those guys who has got a lot of heat from the media after being, drafted, and then, kind of went on that little slump after Winnipeg, and a lot of people have forgotten about him. But Patrik Laine has been one of my favorite players in the NHL for a very, very long time. And hearing that now he's coming to my favorite team in the NHL, I think this guy is going to do wonders. I think he is very underrated. I just think he needs that one season to break out and be a top player in the NHL this year. And I think being on a young roster like the Montreal Canadiens, it will really help his game tremendously, because these are all young guys that are just, itching at the bit to get out there on the ice to improve every year. And I think being in that locker room dynamic for Patrik Laine will really help him a lot. And I know a lot of people were talking about the contract. I believe right now he may be the highest paid player on the Montreal Canadiens going into this season, but I do think this will be worth it. I think Patrik Laine is going to have a great year. I mean, Montreal has been looking for that goal scorer for a very, very long time, and you got that in Patrik Laine, especially, Cole Caulfield's going to be that guy too. So you have two great goal scorers on the team right now, something Montreal hasn't had in a very long time, and it is very exciting. So hyped for Patrik Laine to be a Montreal Canadian. I think this guy is going to do wonders, and he's really going to break out of the ashes here. Obviously, being in the player assistance program, he was dealing with some stuff internally, but now he's out of that situation. He's fresh into Montreal, where the fans are going to love this guy. And I think it's going to be good for him and his own mental health, but also good for the Montreal Canadiens and their play going forward. I can't wait for the season to start now. Love Patrik Laine. Can't wait to see his game day fits in Montreal. But want to hear your guys' thoughts on this down below in the comment section. I know a lot of you guys are probably hyped on this like me, but we're going to get into the second topic of the video today, which is the best offseason in Habs history. Oh my god, I can't believe this. I think yesterday may have been the best day I've ever had as a sports fan. Just hearing Patrik Laine coming to Montreal was just such a big deal for me, and I know a lot of Habs fans, but this has really been the best offseason in Habs history. I mean, Kent Hughes, he is cooking up something, because this, let's just bring it up here. I mean, the stuff he has done this offseason is amazing for this Montreal Canadiens team. He got an incredible Slavkovsky extension. Obviously, that was the first thing this offseason everybody was excited of. We have Slav long-term at a pretty good deal at that. Then they draft Demidov, who has been, one of the top prospects here. A lot of people have been talking about him. My boys over at Habs Digest have definitely been hard on the Demidov train, and I'm on that train. I think this guy is going to be phenomenal. I love this draft choice by the Montreal Canadiens. Also drafting Hague as well, which was a great pick there for the Montreal Canadiens. Then obviously yesterday they traded for Patrik Laine, which was probably the biggest trade of the offseason in my opinion, and I think this is great. Obviously, you just heard my my opinion on that one. Love that. And then obviously they got Gouli to a great extension as well, which was awesome to see. But one couple of things that have been left out the list here was that great Arbor Jack-Eye contract, and there was numerous more things that Kent Hughes has done this offseason to help this Montreal Canadiens team. They also say this has been a generational offseason. Build this man his statue ASAP, and we need a Kent Hughes statue in front of the Bell Center. Come on, we need it. But I mean, when you just look at this list and some of the ones that I've named, it's hard to argue against this not being the best offseason in Habs history. It really isn't, because I mean, they locked up their young guys long-term. They've signed some great contracts for those role players like Jack-Eye, and they've also traded for a big name in Patrik Laine, and drafted, some great young talents here at the Spear draft. So that is, everything checked off the to-do list for Kent Hughes this offseason. There's nothing else that he needed to do. I mean, that is just an amazing offseason. It's very rare you go into an offseason and tick all the boxes that you want coming out of it, and Kent Hughes has definitely done this. And this is why it's leading me into the direction of this being the best offseason in Habs history, because you're getting young talent, you're adding to the existing roster, and you're extending your young guys for the future. I mean, there's nothing better than that. Yes, you could trade PK Subban for Shea Weber, but I mean, like, it's just the way that the Montreal Canadiens team is right now. They're rebuilding. They're coming out the end of a rebuild, in my opinion. And now they have their guys locked up. They don't have to worry about that. They have a big name signed for a few years as well. And they have some guys coming up in the system that could easily crack this team. Like, you know, we got Reinbacher, we got Gooley, or not Gooley, we got Hudson. Sorry, getting them mixed up here. Now we have Demidov. We have so many people, Joshua, we have Logan Mailloux, we have so many people, so many young players here in the Montreal Canadiens system that could easily make an impact for this team going forward. And it's just amazing that we have so much talent locked up. And, you know, even this is good. Even if they don't make the team, they're a valuable trade assets. So this is just an amazing offseason, amazing rebuild by Kent Hughes, all in all. Maybe one of the best rebuilds we've seen in a long time. This guy I might be biased here. I think he's the best GM in the NHL right now. And if you want to debate that, make sure to go down and leave a comment. But if we look at this Montreal Canadiens team going in to this season, I mean, it's hard to argue that these teams might not be fighting. This team may not be fighting for playoffs, but I think they will be 100%. Obviously, we got Slav, Suzuki, Caulfield as the first line. Then we got Doc, Newhook, Laine. That is a tremendous second line. I mean, Doc, I can't wait to see him back, and him clicking with Laine together and Newhook. This line is going to be very dominant as a second line. They have that goal scorer on the top line. They have that goal scorer on the second line, which is really going to be great for this Montreal Canadiens team. Then obviously we got the kind of the veteran line here in Dvorak, Gallagher, and Anderson. I'd like this as well for a third line. Kind of older guys, but guys who can make impact as well in that bottom six. Then we have Berboulet, Evans, and Armia. I would put Josh Waugh up in this lineup. I think that's just my opinion on this. I think that guy has shown enough to be an NHL starter, especially on the fourth line. I'd like to see him up there with Jake Evans and Armia. And then we look at the defensemen. Obviously, we got Matheson, Gooley, Hudson, and Savard. I think that second pairing is going to be tremendous for Montreal this year. Hudson being that offensive guy paired with Savard, the big defensive guy. They're going to complement each other so well. Then we got Jack Guy and Barron. Obviously, these guys have been a great third pairing for the Montreal Canadiens. And then, obviously, like I said, we have Reinbacher up the pipeline as well, which the deep pairing of the future is definitely Hudson and Reinbacher. Will we see them this year? Maybe it might be a call-up. I'm not sure how what's going to happen with the whole Reinbacher situation, but I would like to see him this season. Then obviously we got Monty and Primo. Primo really shocked me last year. I've always told my buddies I'm not a fan of Primo, but last year he really opened my eyes a little bit, and I think this guy's an incredible goalie. And Monty, he's been a solid goalie for this Montreal Canadiens team. I think he's definitely the starter, but Primo has improved a lot, and I'm excited to see. I was excited to see the improvement from Primo, and I think we're going to see those two goalies improve even further. And as they say here, can Montreal take a jump into a playoff spot? And I really do think they could. I think with the goal scoring ability they have now, with the young players who have that little bit of an edge that want to get better and want to win as a team, this will really play a factor into Montreal. They're not going to finish last in the Atlantic. I think they're going to be close to making a playoff spot. I'm not going to guarantee a playoff spot, but as a Habs fan, I think we will be close, and I think we will finish ahead of Ottawa 100%. So it's going to be a fun season as a Montreal Canadiens fan. I'm very excited for Laine. I think this is going to be amazing. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts down below in the comment section. Do you think this was the best offseason in Habs history? Let me know down below. What are your thoughts on the Patrik Laine trade as well? And if you guys enjoyed this one, make sure to hit that like button. It helps push these videos out to all the Habs fans on YouTube. Also, subscribe to the channel. We're on the road for 5,000 before the end of the summer. So if you're not subscribed already, make sure to go down below and hit that subscribe button. And if you want to check out a video we did the other day talking about the Leafs, it'll be popping up on your screen right now. But as always, I've been your host, KC. Keep your stick on the ice.